Hey guys, welcome back to the Jay and Mark show. I'm Mr. Mark Black.
And I'm Jay Feliz, and we're gonna start you right off. So Monday, Bill Gates comes clean about the internal affair that he had in Microsoft, which actually forced him to step down, and the publicity of it all basically led to the end of his marriage. So if you guys wanted to know, he spilled the tea on Monday, and that was May.
Okay. He got chopped, okay? So, and then we go into Tuesday with Miss Demi Lovato announcing that they are non-binary. I want to be very clear because I'm going to make a statement here. I have nothing against trans people, non-binary people. Personally, at this point, I feel that Demi Lovato is weaponizing just the entire LGBT community. I can't say that I don't believe that that they are non-binary, but something about it isn't sitting right with me. It seems like every other day they are coming out with something
a little performative,
controversial, something performative. Hello, our word of the season, performative.
Of the month.
Okay,
of
the month. Because, I don't know. Take with that what you will. I'm not trying to hate on anybody that identifies as non-binary. Everybody's journey is their own. Something about Demi Lovato's journey is bugging me. And that's where I'll leave that.
And talking about performative, a musical series called Queens drops new trailer starring Eve, Brandy, Notori Naughton, and Nadine Velasquez. I don't know who Nadine Velasquez is, but the other ladies eat.
Yes, okay. I don't know about anybody else, but I have missed Eve. Like, I loved Eve so bad. I love Eve.
First of all, I don't know if that's ever gonna happen now because I'm like in a super really committed relationship. Heart you, Ollie. But I wanted to be her when I grew up. Like, she married a whole billionaire, and he worships her.
Yes,
which is like,
yes, he does.
I'm halfway there, but he ain't rich.
Okay. But we will keep dreaming while we press on into Wednesday. On Wednesday, Mr. Russell Simmons dropped the bomb of all time because it turns out that his ex, Kimora, and her new boo, I believe his name is Tim Leissner. So basically, they did some scamming, some fraudulence. So they basically used Russell's shares in this company that they all, I guess, invested in as collateral to get money to bail out Mr. Tim. And Mr. Simmons was not having that. So he filed a lawsuit promptly. Okay, they are in trouble. And
listen, he's holistic, but money plays with nobody, honey. And the company is called Celsius. Go drink up. Talking about other teas to drink up, Billy Porter finally, basically, I guess, comes out and lets out his HIV positive diagnosis 14 years after the initial diagnosis. And he shared his experience. It was very emotional. Like, he's given several interviews since doing so. And I think the most heartwarming thing is that, like, the stigmatism involved with being diagnosed HIV positive still is very prevalent because he hid it from his mother for so many years because he felt ashamed.
Yeah.
No matter what he accomplished, he felt ashamed, you know?
It's very telling that, you know, the main reason why Billy Porter is so big right now is from Pose. And if anybody watches Pose, spoiler alert, that is a storyline that his character also deals with. So we are sending much love and light to Mr. Billy Porter. best of luck to you. We are also sending our well wishes out to Paul Mooney's family. The legend has passed away at the age of 79. So anybody that knows Paul Mooney knows, you know, he worked with Richard Pryor. They did, you know, a lot of work together. Just hilarious.
Chappelle
and,
Show,
you know,
Negro Damas.
hello. All of it. So rest in power. We will miss you dearly, sir.
And moving right along, Wednesday honestly was hot, honey. Texas Governor Greg Abbott signs the heartbeat bill, which basically means that you cannot get an abortion 6 weeks after your pregnancy. So basically, if you're pregnant for 6 weeks or more, you cannot get an abortion because they're claiming that once there's a heartbeat, that's a life. So
it blows my mind. It just blows my mind because most women don't know until about 6 to 8 weeks that they are actually pregnant.
I know someone that 2 whole months, that's 8 weeks, and she didn't know. And honestly, fetuses are very, very, very resilient. So it's
every woman's pregnancy is different. Every woman's reasons are different. You know, this doesn't take into account you know, unfortunately, that the fact that there are sexual assault victims that end up pregnant, that they're, you know, forcing them then to, somebody who was assaulted is not going to, you know, care, or not, I shouldn't say care, but like want to relive that situation enough to go and get tested. So by the time they figure that out and have to deal with that trauma, like, it's not enough time. You know, it's just crazy. I don't understand. Texas, I do not understand y'all. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I don't think any man should have any say over a woman's body and what she does with it. Because if it's really about the life, then let's talk about what happens after the life is born. After you force this woman to deal with the trauma of having a child that she didn't want to have, what happens to that? Is the government going to step in and take care of this life that basically, in the case, let's say even in the case of rape, that she didn't want? So it's like, it's not about the life. Let's not even talk about the life. I'm pro-choice all the way. Whatever, deal with it. Like me, don't like me. I don't care.
We are pro-choice here at the J and Mark Show, okay? But moving right along, because that will come up again later.
Yes, Thursday.
On Thursday, honey. That Miss Chrissy Teigen.
We talked about it. We talked about how all of these tweets resurfaced of her cyberbullying Courtney Stodden when she was a teenager, telling her to take a dirt nap. And now Macy's and Bloomingdale's are like, snip, snip, bye, Chrissy. And honestly, it's sad because it's like, who remembers things that they did years ago, and who hasn't changed, you know?
So my issue is that like they said, it's 10 years old, right? So Chrissy's in her mid-30s now. That means she was mid-20 years old. Okay, old enough to have more common sense than to tell somebody to kill themselves. Yes, you know, she should have apologized, all that stuff. My thing is, who out here has not said something when between the ages of teen to mid-20s that they know they regret? I know I do. That if somebody brought up would not make them look bad.
Oh my God, I would be ashamed.
Hello, it's like, you know, that's where you learn stuff. You know, it's not to say that everyone has to do terrible shit to learn, but like most people learn from their mistakes. So I don't think that necessarily the backlash of like pulling all her stuff is merited, but I think it just has to do with the oversaturation of Chrissy Teigen. You know, she was everywhere. So now it's like the backlash, but I don't think she'll be gone long. I don't.
I really
Moving
don't
right along
either.
to Friday, though.
Even if she was gone long, she don't need to be around. She living it up, honey.
Okay. But what's happening on Friday is crazy, and all women out here should be up in an uproar, honey, because Supreme Court.
I am burning. I'm living on the inside. But tell them.
So the Supreme Court has announced that they are going to hear a case that's basically a direct challenge to Roe V Wade. Those of you who don't know, it's the abortion law. Basically, this case is about the Mississippi law that bans abortion after 15 weeks. I think the craziest part to me is that all of this stuff is based on religion. Like the issue of killing, murdering a fetus and all this and blah, blah, blah. It's all associated with religion and how that's terrible and blah, blah. But science has told you that up until this, X week, the fetus doesn't feel anything. It doesn't have the capability to whatever. And you're ignoring these extreme cases, these women that have miscarriages or complications or, these issues that arise where the pregnancy will not be viable.
Under these circumstances,
it's crazy.
You're basically saying that if a woman who cannot carry to full term for whatever complication she has, if she has a miscarriage, technically she can be accused of having a willful miscarriage or willful abortion and do jail time. So imagine the trauma on trauma on trauma that you would be inflicting. Like, I can't even fathom where are the psychologists? Like, people. Like, where are the scientists? Because it's not just religion. I respect everyone's religion, but it's not just religion. We're talking about what if you don't have those beliefs? What if you don't have a religion?
Well, just to clarify, the reason why I'm saying is the reason why I brought up religion is because according to our Constitution, there is supposed to be a separation of church and state. So to me, these laws that are so closely in tuned with the beliefs and the system of Christianity, of these laws that these religions follow, it has no place. It has no place. People should be treated as human beings regardless of their religion, because every religion does not follow the same rules. So just because you're living here in America, we are a melting pot, okay? So everybody should be free to do what they see fit. I don't always agree with everything that I see. Honestly, unless it's directly affecting me, it has, none of my business. I'm upset about the abortion bill, but I can only support women to say, if y'all don't want this, ban it, but like, I don't know. I'm tore up.
I'm tore up as well. On Saturday, 4 SNLs spark exit rumors. Aidy Bryant, Cicely Strong, Katz McKinnon, and Kenan Thompson with farewell closing, and also possibly losing Pete Davidson, which to me is kind of like, I don't ever see him really leaving, maybe doing other projects and stuff like that, but I don't know.
I honestly, so there's the whole typical thing where usually after 7 to 8 seasons, the cast members leave. So there's really nobody that stays on 20 plus years except for Kenan Thompson, who has been on the show for 18 years now. So Kenan is really one of the long legends there. So I think if he leaves, it's going to be a big deal. I think that honestly, those 4 leaving right now makes sense to me. Dee has the show on Hulu. Cecily's been working steadily, doing all these spots and shows and movies and things. Kate McKinnon has been meteoric. Everybody thinks she's hilarious.
I don't.
And again, Kenan has his show, Kenan.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for them to make that move now. Pete Davidson, honestly, I'm over him. I'm sorry. I know people love him. He annoys me. He goes into the Demi Lovato category for me. He is just performative.
In his defense, he has no control over who he is sometimes, literally. Like, he has a disorder.
I get it. Bipolar, I get it. I know, I understand the stigma behind bipolar disorder. For some reason, Pete Davidson does not rub me the right way. I don't care. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Moving right along, though, to Sunday, okay? So, the biggest thing is that, guys, one of the, like, first major YouTube, thing, Charlie bit me. Charlie bit my finger. That video is gonna be gone. It is gone now. It's off of YouTube because it's an NFT now, which is non-fungible or fungible. I don't know how you say it. Token. So basically, they're gonna sell it. They're gonna sell this clip, and I also read that whoever wins it, I guess, also has the opportunity to make a parody video with Charlie and the person from the video. So I guess we'll see if that actually happens. But yeah, so listen, these people are getting their coin. That other girl, the girl that made that smile smirk with the house burning in the background, hers was also turned into an NFT, and she made a good like 500,000 or something from that. So these people out here making money off of these memes. Okay?
Let me tell you, there is a piece of an NFT by Beeple, and I saw this NFT recently. It's called The First 5,000 Days. It sold for, or he earned for, or is worth $69 million. And it's basically a collection of art from, I want to say it's either 12 years or 14 years. I forgot which one it was, but it's extensive. It's massive. If you ever get the chance to look at it, go look at it. So it's a lot.
Shit.
And talking about a lot, the Billboard Music Awards were also on Sunday, and Drake wins Artist of the Decade. Daddy Drake was definitely in full mode. I don't know if they couldn't find a sitter, or
literally,
if he just wanted to bring his son Adonis with him. His kid, like a regular 3-year-old, threw a tantrum, and cute as can be, what can you say? He's a kid.
Side note, because it is our favorite word, so I did feel that it was a little performative because of the fact that whole reason.
From Daddy Drake or from Adonis?
No, from Drake bringing his son out, because I feel like, it's like, okay, so you like denied his existence at first. They called you out on it, and now it's like he's posting pictures of his son all the time. He's like, I love my son. I'm like, I get it. I feel like he's doing double duty now, so that when his son looks back, it could be like, I didn't try to hide you, but it's like, we caught you. You did. You definitely did.
You denied it.
But hey, good to see him being a good father. Step up and stay in your kid's life, Mr. Drake, okay? And you still looking fine as hell.
Father's matter. Father's matter.
Hello, okay? So that wraps up last week for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We're jumping right into our topic of the week. And let me tell you, this is something that I have been noticing left and right, and it is loaded. So we're going to be talking about weaponizing activism. So what it is basically, what we're noticing is, one group of activists, so whether it's, the people that are, speaking out for Free Palestine, Black Lives Matter, the Me Too movement, any big movement, is now they're going into this really weird phase of somehow weaponizing activism to say another group is not doing enough to support them. And to elaborate, I feel like, for example, it's not specific, but if somebody came out with their Me Too story, and somebody in, Black Lives Matter was supportive and backed their story and showed support and love to them and reposted Me Too and all this stuff, then that person that is, an activist for Black Lives Matter, if they're not feeling that same level of support from the Me Too movement, they are outwardly angry and vocally like calling people out. And there's a part of me that understands it, but there's a part of me that just feels that it's so divisive to the bigger picture. You know, like not everybody is going to be active the same way. So it's very murky, and I don't know. What are your thoughts? What are you?
So I think something that I've noticed that is similar along the lines of weaponizing activism is almost like the Oppression Olympics, where it's kind of like, instead of either supporting or being happy for a certain demographic or a certain group, for example, I'll give you a great example. Recently, there's been a Asian American, or I'm not exactly sure what it is called. Sorry, but a bill was
basically
passed.
Stop Asian Hate.
Yes, basically,
Stop Asian Hate.
A bill was passed stating Stop Asian Hate. And there's been several demographics that have felt like, oh my God, look at them. Look at them, you know? And they felt like, look at them. We got this, and they're not being supportive. So it's kind of like a mix of that going on. And also, like, as you mentioned, with Israelis and with the Palestinians. So it's kind of like,
I've really noticed that a lot. Like, I've seen a lot of posts where people were like, oh, if you put your black square for Blackout Tuesday to support Black Lives Matter, and you haven't said anything about Palestine, then you're part of the problem. And it's very loaded, because Black Lives Matter, to me, even as a white person, is a much simpler concept to wrap my head around.
Not just that,
you know,
but it's definitely more of a worldwide issue, because there are black people all around the world. And all around the world, black people are being oppressed.
Yes. And in reference to that, you know, obviously, I'm a white person standing on the outside, but I am woke enough to understand what the issue is, you know. Black people are not being treated evenly. That's all they're saying, especially with Black Lives Matter, is my life matters just as much as everyone else. That's a simple concept for me to understand. I haven't personally spoken out about Free Palestine because I don't understand the entirety of it. Like, I read about it, but it's still very weird to me. Like,
Friends, let us know.
You know,
talk to us.
Hey, you know, like, I'm always here to listen. So I don't think that it's necessarily good to weaponize the activism to say, like, oh, if you support this, you have to support all of them, because then in that same logic, you're doing the same thing that, you know, is wrong with, like, what Republicans do when they just make grandiose statements about a whole marginalized people and say crazy things like, you know, Mexicans are rapists or black people are thugs and all these crazy things. So you can't say that there's no cookie cutter way to be an activist, and there's no, you know, formula for it that just simply works for everyone. You know, everyone's different. Everyone deals, especially in today, in 2021, people have neurodivergent,
not
you know,
that,
ADD,
but there's an
anxiety.
oversaturation of everything. Social media, and I emphasize this because social media has become media, you know? So it's like, as a whole media, there's an oversaturation of just information. And part of that is there's also a lot of false information in that oversaturation of information. And I agree with you. I sometimes feel like I don't know enough to fully support something. So you won't see me going full gun-ho on it, you know? And definitely,
I've caught myself being upset about something when I read it initially and being like, going to write something on social media, and thank God I had that wherewithal to say, let me double check.
Let me educate myself.
Double check. Let me double check. And as soon as I Googled it, 9 times out of 10, the first thing in those situations, the first thing that comes up is something to refute it, or something to say this is false, or this isn't necessarily what the story is.
Or there's more to it.
And that's why Yeah, exactly. So that's why and again, none of this is to say that I don't support Free Palestine. I think that what's happening over there is a travesty. I
Basic
think that
human rights.
America has literally stuck their nose in every other country's business for long enough. It's really crazy. I don't know. I think, in a perfect world, everybody would just understand that we are all one race, the human race, and we should all treat each other with, equity and respect, and not give a shit about the differences, appreciate the differences. But
honestly,
that's
think
me living in my white utopia because I get to.
I was gonna say, I'm like, listen, that sounds really great, but I feel like in a world where there is total peace, as you said, utopia, I feel like by the time that humans really realize that, it's gonna be like the end of our reign, of like our civilization, and it's like new ones. That's a sketch. It's like
the rise of the planet of the apes. That's when we'll fucking figure it out. Is when the apes take over.
Or
okay?
by the time that the aliens are like, I won. Imagine they're playing the game of life with us.
Jesus Christ. Honestly, guys. I want everybody to just love each other, and I know that's so like making it so basic, but in its simplest form,
at the very least,
like
respect each other.
Yes, everybody. Show some love. Show your neighbor some love. Show, appreciate differences.
And with
love
that,
each other, guys.
Honestly, guys, we love you, and we hope you love our show. Tell your friends, and we'll check you out later.